One of my favorite video game genres, the Metroidvania games. A turn that crosses two of the coolest video game franchises, Metroid and Castlevania. I grew up playing both games on the NES. Castlevania was the essential horror-related game for me, as I really liked the old Universal monster movies as a kid. And Castlevania had Dracula, the Mummy, and Frankenstein's monster. And Metroid was futuristic awesomeness, introducing me to a more expansive type of side-scrolling action with cool-looking enemies and upgraded weapon abilities. It draws inspiration from sci-fi classics like the movie Alien. Remember seeing that movie as a kid? It scared the crap out of me, but I thought the xenomorphs were bitchin'. Which makes me wonder, isn't it weird that so many of us grew up on horror films and R-rated sci-fi movies? I remember the first R-rated film I watched was Terminator 2, and I dressed up as Arnold the following Halloween. I thought the Terminator was the coolest thing, and I was like 8 years old at the time. Alien, RoboCop, Blade Runner, I saw all of them for the first time as a kid with my parents. I guess they didn't give a shit about ratings. Anyway, Metroid and Castlevania evolved over the years and started to use certain traits and mechanics that are now recognized as staple Metroidvania features. Large, somewhat convoluted maps and a map system, accompanied by the biggest staple of them all, explore, upgrade, and continue. In Metroidvania games, you will reach parts that you can't access until something else is achieved or acquired, so you have to explore a different area to find the solution and then return to progress. You have to explore these giant areas while combating monsters and bosses, and I just loved it. Metroid did this first, but then Castlevania evolved into this style as well with Symphony of the Night on PlayStation, adding their own twists and including RPG elements like levels, equipment, and items. Playing these games and finding the needed upgrade and then going back and accessing previous areas that I couldn't get to just increases the serotonin in my brain or something. I enjoy it so much. To express my love of Metroidvania games, I wanted to share a few of my favorites, and we're going to start with two games that are my go-tos and the namesakes for Metroidvania. Super Metroid for the Super Nintendo. One of the best games for the console, Super Metroid for me is the definitive Metroid. Amazing visuals, great soundtrack, super fun gameplay, and just really expanded on what a 2D action side-scroller can be at the time. The boss fights are epic, the different areas are distinctive and unique, and Samus Aran is just a badass. Playing this game for the first time as a kid blew my mind, and really showed me what the Super Nintendo can do. It laid the groundwork and is the blueprint for how to create a Metroidvania game. What else can be said about this game that hasn't already? Super Metroid is a bona fide classic. Castlevania Aria of Sorrow for the Game Boy Advance and part of the Castlevania Advance collection on PC. It's the year 2035 and Soma Cruz has entered an eclipse containing Dracula's castle. Our hero must traverse the vampire's domain and discover the mystery of the structure's reappearance and his reason for being there. This is hands down my favorite Castlevania game. The game plays and looks great for a GBA game. The monster and boss designs are spectacular. Like I previously mentioned, the Castlevania games added RPG elements which are present in this game. But Aria of Sorrow adds an extra layer that just makes this entry even more fun. Soma has the ability to capture the soul of an enemy. Each soul gives Soma a different ability to use, whether it be for attack, support, or travel. This mechanic is the bee's knees for me. The animations look awesome, and it makes me want to see more and more of them as I play. And on top of that, every enemy in the game can drop a soul. This is amazing to me, because it gives every enemy a purpose. I can't recall too many games that do that. In my opinion, where Symphony of the Night redefined the Castlevania series, Aria of Sorrow perfects it, and solidifies itself as not only one of the best in the series, but one of the best Metroidvania games. Record of Lodos War, Deedlit and Wonder Labyrinth for the PC. The High Elf Deedlit wakes up in a mysterious unknown world filled with monsters, obstacles, and the important people in her life scattered about. She must make her way through this domain and solve the puzzle of her predicament. What immediately drew me to this game is that I love the 1990 anime OVA of Record of Lodos War. It's pretty much the anime version of a Dungeons & Dragons campaign. It's absolutely fantastic. So going into this game, I already knew who everyone was, and seeing characters like Slain and Parn gave me bolts of excitement. Now, to be transparent, I can't speak to the story and characters from a perspective of someone that knows nothing about the anime, so please keep that in mind. D-Lit and Wonder Labyrinth hosts a beautiful pixel graphic style. I mean, the bosses in this game look amazing, and the fights themselves are very fun. Most of them utilize the whole arena and the background as well, definitely using every way it can to involve what's around you. The combat mechanic used to fight enemies is the unique part of this game. You switch between two elemental styles and build meters for them by attacking. For each level of meter, your attacks become stronger. You will need to switch back and forth when appropriate, as some enemies will only take damage from a specific element, and to do some obstacles as well. When a meter is maxed out, it can be used to heal your HP. This whole system is very well thought out and offers a good additional layer to combat. The transition between the elemental powers are fluid, and the meter management and healing HP is refreshingly different, and I like that. The system definitely is something that sets this game apart. Add in awesome looking spells, and D-Lit and Wonder Labyrinth is a fun and welcome addition to the Metroidvania genre. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night for PC. Produced by Koji Igarashi, who is known for his great work for games in the Castlevania series like Symphony of the Night and Aria of Sorrow. Igo is truly one of the godfathers of the Metroidvania genre, and a big reason I got this game. Bloodstained has you play as Miriam, a shardbinder that awakes to find another shardbinder, Giebel, has summoned demons to obliterate England to fulfill his want for vengeance. Miriam must do what she can to prevent this from happening. The first thing that pops out to me in this game is its presentation. The 3D graphics in a 2D landscape are really nice to look at, and instead of all the cutscenes and dialogue being text boxes, we get some pretty good voice acting and a moving camera to help enhance the drama. Story and how it is presented is something that kind of lacks in a lot of Metroidvania games, which is understandable since the main focus of these games are the gameplay. But the fact that Bloodstained made an attempt to improve how presentation and how the story is told is very fresh. The game also used my favorite element from Aria of Sorrow, where you can obtain shards from enemies that provide Miriam with different abilities. They went extra with it, and you can equip up to 5 abilities, where in Aria of Sorrow you can only equip 3 at a time. Seriously, the ability to take powers from a monster and use them is one of my favorite layers in gaming. The combat is fire, the abilities look awesome, and the boss fights are epic. You also get some cool abilities for exploration as well, like the ability to turn the entire map upside down. This game is just a kick-ass love child of both Symphony of the Night and Aria of Sorrow, two of the best Castlevania games fused together Dragon Ball Z style. One of my favorite additions is the customization of Miriam. You can go to this demented barber and change Miriam's hairstyle, hair, and skin color. And the head accessory she gets actually change on the character model as well as her scarf. This is something that didn't even need to be in the game, but the fact that it is really awesome. It makes me excited because I hope other devs use this idea and expand on it. There's so much good extra stuff sprinkled throughout this game. It kept me excited to explore and progress, wondering what else I would be able to find. Bloodstained is a great culmination of experience and ideas that led up before it and makes its mark for me in the genre. Metroidvania games have been part of my gaming life since the beginning of it. Every year I'm always playing new ones and enjoying them as much as I ever had. These games I discuss are just the tip of the iceberg, and if you're new to the genre or have never played them, I strongly recommend checking these 4 games out. And if you are a Metroidvania OG, well, then go fucking play them again. What Metroidvania games do you like? Feel free to share them. Thank you for watching.